Not sure how to pull this one through. And part of me is in resistance. But everything says just do it. Because those of us holding certain timelines, no one else might understand. Other people might perceive it as whatever else it could be that they perceive this to be. But this one's for the ones who need it. Within my years doing vids and live streams, a lot of people come up and they say the truth of how their life is in the moment without sugarcoating it in order to have true space held, true witness, and to share what this reality can actually be like instead of doing the whole, oh, kumbaya, everything is fine. If you love yourself, everything's gonna be just fine. It's gonna be so easy, buttercups. Yeah, fuck you, right? If you're there and it's that easy, then fucking find a way to make it easier for others. And that's all I gotta say about that. Birds of a feather flock together. So obviously, me being a woman in certain situations, going to attract other women in those certain situations are not exactly the same. But the full portrait of what it can be like to be a woman alone in this society comes to me. Whether it's in the foreground, where it can be like seen and watched, or whether it's in the background, because a different type of witness is needed. It can't even be said publicly. Sometimes the things we go through, there's too much at stake for speaking up of certain things. And with what I just said, I want to full circle that especially in the background, I witnessed and held space and anchor many masculine who are alone and how they feel every single thing that's actually happening for real and how, you know, it's not easier being a man when you're living certain timelines. But ultimately, the shocking truth in plain sight for me is just how many women must embody at all times to be fully alert, spidey senses completely online. There is no letting go of discernment and just being childlike, being your goddess. Yeah, we have clear and sometimes long moments or days where we can feel that, but throughout the shit show that plays itself out and where we're asked to be on our ley lines, what humanity is choosing in collective communities is surreal in some places, right? So some things are focused upon and some regions are known to be going through things, but I live in a whitewashed city. We're a college university town here with a lake that is really well known. Tourism is huge. The movie industry comes here to film movies because it's so beautiful. and we're just a hop, skip, and a jump from bushland. So what that means is that they can set up a set and be only a half an hour away from the motel. And that for the movie industry is super good, right? Instead of having to go to buttfuck nowhere in Alaska and to Yukon, you can film a movie in Northeast Ontario, make it like whatever title you want. So yeah, there's a lot of everything that actually goes on here that's not spoken about on the news and not spoken about in the same ways that families will keep so many skeletons in a closet, so can a whole city and communities. I asked myself today, especially with spring around the corner, to what point have I become paranoid because of the things I've lived in this area in the last year and a half? Or am I right to follow my spidey senses and sometimes, don't matter if it's a beautiful day, not so cold and windy, stay home? Am I using my discernment to 144% of my capabilities and really listening to my gut when I hear the siren and I say to myself, nope, I'm just not going out right now? Or am I paranoid? Am I, that person that has lost faith in herself and is afraid? So, you know what I mean? Boxing myself in. And I asked for validation. I'm not going to get it on the news. Could call the police station, ask them what the crime rate's like. They won't fucking tell me the truth. The only way to know is by people who are around it, near it. Like the way that I learned, not long ago that something else had happened that I wasn't aware of, but I remember that day feeling creepy. Anyways, I digress. I thank the human angels that hit the mark of their timelines because I really needed to know to what point have I become somebody who's paranoid, or am I so spot on in my discernment that I will sacrifice a whole afternoon of sunshine to stay safe with my daughter, even if I have no viable explanation of why, just the inner knowing. When we went and got a coffee earlier, anybody who was in the live stream, I was in full flow, started to realize how darkness was coming on, and I was like, I gotta go. I knew I had to hit the mark or something. I say hit the mark because I know my timelines and soul contracts in a way that if I start to explain it, I don't even know how. And that's a whole other fucking subject. But yeah, when you're meant to be at the right place at the right time in order to get the answers that you asked for. I don't even know how it became a subject. I can't even remember what was said out loud to, boing, start the conversation with the man behind me that didn't have a mask on, which was amazing in itself. I can't remember how the conversation started, and it only lasted 60 seconds, maybe. I can't remember if it was him or me. It was so just serendipity. But the full circle of the conversation was me saying if people understood what's happening in North Bay, maybe, some things would be resolved and it wouldn't be so nasty around here. And he looked me straight in the eye and he said, people have no clue. And I was like, I know they don't. He said, I used to live in Vancouver on one of the roughest streets in all of Vancouver. And the shit that's happening now here in North Bay wouldn't have even flown on those streets. Meaning people would have made sure that that shit wasn't happening. that shit won't fly and wouldn't have flown in Vancouver is exactly how he said to me. How it is right now. He's like, if people understood. I was like, I do understand. 50 years old, never lived anything. And in the last year, I've been part of 2 shootings right in the lockdown on my street. He's like, you get it. And I was like, yeah, I get it. I know how they're saying and what they're hiding and how yucky it is. And he looked at me and he just said, stay safe. I was like, I will. And that knowing of, it didn't matter what type of day it was today, to just stay home. Just give myself away on a fucking live stream. 5 fucking hours and whatever minutes I streamed. And then when it was time, go, now. Go, now. Now's the time. Don't matter if it's dark, you're safe. Everything inside, boom. Just go, now. Now's the time. What it actually feels like to live like that. I remember a couple years ago saying to somebody, you don't even know what it's like to take care of yourself anymore and being looked at. And of course I take care of myself. It's like, no, you don't. You don't even know what it's like to start your own fucking car anymore. You have no idea what it's like to have to remember every single fucking thing by yourself. And you never really have. Because you've always made sure that you were codependent on other people who would help you remember shit. Or who would push you to remember stuff. Right? You don't get what it's like to fucking be just you. And every single fucking thing is your fucking responsibility. No matter what. No matter what. And add to that you never even had a child. So you have no idea. You know, that feeling. I remember one day when I was on my road trip and I was lying outside and Lily was sleeping in the tent and I was like, I'm so unfuckable with. Fuck, I'm so unfuckable with. Nothing could fucking ever happen to me again. Fuck with me. And then Lily kind of moved in the tent. And my whole body seized up because it doesn't matter if I'm unfuckable with. It's like 2 bodies I'm taking care of, making sure we're safe, not just mine. That's a whole fucking other level. How when Amy, because I've already had, you know, the timeline of watching a little girl turn into a woman. How my little girl was looked at because she was so beautiful, and so cute, and so amazing. But then when she turned into a woman, holy fuck. Whole other level of, whoa. It's almost to think, what have I done to bring a woman into this world? For real. Right? I know many people who never had children because they were like, I'm never gonna put another person into this world. It's too fucked up of a world. Right? I never believed that Collective would choose these timelines, ever. I still can't believe we're in them. So I certainly can believe that I would wake up tomorrow and it would be a whole other reality, like boom, like this, because I still, like, to wrap my brain around the fact of what people are choosing to hold on to and how long. Wow. What the fuck? It's fucked up. Anyways, babbled on for almost 15 minutes. But yeah. for the ones that resonate and understand what I said. I honor you. I really do. Hear my throat? We were talking about the burping and stuff and the throat activations on the stream today. That's so funny. You had to act up, eh?